My first story to these games that are better on PC. And I'll let you guys think about that. Maybe you can throw some of your own suggestions in there after I talk about this. Why I figured this out, if you might have heard me drop this in a few podcasts, is that Antoine played My Time at Sandrock on PC, I believe, Antoine. And I got it on Switch because I'm like, I do love sitting in bed gaming. And this is literally what I've been doing for the last 55 hours. Jump into bed, middle of the day, legs up, switch on my knees and play My Time at Sandrock. That being said, is because I did try and play it on the dock mode, and at 1080p, the game struggles. Like, it reminds me of playing games in the early 90s. I remember playing this game called XCOM Sectoid, where when there were like 50 enemies on the screen, your guy would move like this, right? Because back in those days, I think we had a 486 processor, I think 256 megabytes of storage on our computer, and it was just terrible. But yeah. It's coming back to the point of this video, right? Which is the Switch is really done. The original Switch in terms of end of life cycle, My Time at Sandrock runs barely. It crashed twice last week, which is why I've given up playing it because I can't take it, right? Every time the game crashes and you have to repeat the last 10 minutes, you feel like I don't have 10 minutes for that. In that process, right, I was investigating what games are available on the Switch, but actually shouldn't be available or they run really terribly. And you can guess it. All my favorite genre of games, Disney's Dreamlight Valley has a cap on the amount of stuff you can actually put in the game, right? And Disney's, it's about designing and putting Mickey's house there and Goofy's house there and making paths and trees and rocks. And there's only 600 items allowed on the Switch version. And even without 600 items, things start to slug in. There's lots of pop-in. Pop-in is when you turn to this way and then suddenly, oh my God, there's a tree there. Where did it come from? Magic. So that's another game. Coral Island, which is a game I kickstarted, right? Which I had the option after kickstarting a Switch key to switch to the PC. And I was so busy, I did not take it up. And now I'm stuck with a Switch key that I don't know when is the Switch version going to come on because they said they're still working on it. If you are a Switch owner, I would highly recommend any sort of farming game, anything that's not a first party or like Nintendo favorite company game. Buy it on the PC, buy it on the PS5, buy it on the Xbox Series X, because the Switch is just not there to do it. I'm not even sure the new version. We talked about the new version last week or 2 weeks ago. With the idea of going back to LCD, I don't know how powerful the chipset is going to be on that in order to run games decently. This also just makes my case for going to an Asus ROG Ally or Lenovo Legion Go to be able to have that in the bed gaming experience, because it sucks. I'm also feeling like really tired because I spent so much time working in front of a computer these days. I don't want to sit here and game as well. But yeah. Coral Island, Disney's Dreamlight Valley, My Time at Sandrock, which has sold really well. So there's going to be a third one. You should definitely be prepared in the future to get these games on PC. Games like something I'm going to talk about later, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, might come out on Switch. It'll probably look super ugly. Again, get it on PC.
It's really a question, as I said, a question of budget. If you want an easy and cheap way to play a game, take a console. It's 400-500 quid. If you want a PC which runs, I'm not even talking about Cyberpunk, but you need to put a minimum $1,000. That's twice the price of a console. But again, once you have a PC, your game is extremely replayable, which you can't do on the console. Think Skyrim, you play it for a console, give us the DLC, but that's it. On PC, 13 years later, I saw another mod on Nexus, which made it look like next gen. The Skyrim next gen looked incredibly beautiful. So that's really a question of budget more than anything, right? Switch being the cheapest of the console, you get the cheapest performance. That's why middle-aged gamers usually have PC. When I was a young student, I didn't have a PC. So of course. Although I'm sure you could get a gaming and maybe not that expensive, which could run some MMOs, maybe of these, but my answer is all based on your budget and your expectation for a game.